All right, hey y'all, my name is Brian and I'm back again with a video to update on my car's 2-year ownership. So hang tight and we'll get into everything that I've liked about my car and if I've had any failures. So hang tight. Okay, first off, I'm going to start by going in that I purchased my car new. I know that not everybody has the luxury of buying their car new, but that gives me an advantage because buying the car new, I'm the one that kind of has kept track and maintained the car, and so I know everything about the car. Whereas when you buy a second-hand or a third-hand car, or even a fourth-hand car from somebody, you don't know how the car's been treated, when the oil's been changed, what circumstances the car's been put through, driven through high water, driven really hard, driven low on oil, enough to where it damaged the motor, but it still drives, and then you get it, and then you have turbo failures and motor failures because of oil-related damage. So, I mean, if you buy the car firsthand, that is the best, and that's what I did, and I know that my car will run, and it'll run well for a long time, as long as I take care of it and change the oil and maintain the fluids. As far as turbo issues and belt issues, which some of the popular YouTubers are bashing on this car, or people on Facebook or YouTube, just individuals, my car's been fine. It's new turbos when I bought the car, and the belt. I've got about 20,000 miles on my car, and my belt looks brand new. And it is just a wearable item. I don't know, between different dealerships or different manufacturers, what they'll say is have a wearable item, and belts wear out, so you've got to keep an eye on your belt. You know, if I bought this car and it was 40,000 miles when I bought it, it probably didn't have a belt change. When the people that owned it before you, they pretty much, if the first person that drove it and then traded it in or turned it in at 30,000 miles or 36,000 miles, they drove it and they didn't replace anything. I mean, I've known of horror stories about people not changing their oils at 20 to 25,000 miles. And these turbos are just as important as the engine when it comes to oil lubrication. So if you don't change your oil or you run the motor low on oil, you're going to have problems and your car's not going to last. So it's key that you change your oil and you keep an eye on your belt when you get up to 30 to 40,000 miles, or just be proactive and change it at 30,000 miles. Mine again looks fine. My turbos are they're running great. Let me tell you, when I bought my car new, I waited 3,000 miles and I broke it in that 3,000 miles to my particular standards of how I break vehicles in, performance-minded vehicles. And I've got experience from motorcycles throughout the years, and motocross bikes and different performance cars. So I do that my way, and I'm not going to go into that in this video. But so it was broken in at 3,000 miles. Then I got it tuned. Since then, I've been running 19, 20, 21 PSI. And I don't tear up on the car every day and drive it like a madman, but there are times where you know, I go after it and I'm searching for a time and I'm ragging the car out a little bit, you know, but then I let it cool down. I take it home. You know, most of the time I'm just driving it pretty casual. So it's important, and I change my oil about every you know, 4,000, 3,500 miles. It's cheap. I mean, I get an oil, you know, a 5W30 oil, synthetic, and then I will get an oil filter, and it'll cost me like $33. So every 6 months or something, because I don't put a ton of miles on my car, I've got about 20,000 miles that I'm approaching. So I just look at it as a good investment, and I like working on the car. It's not that big of a deal changing the oil, so that's how I do it. And I think that's going to have a really big end goal, or a big end intent on my car lasting, if I said that right. But yeah, so let me just go over some of the things that I have put on my car that I really enjoy and I like, and I think makes the car better. Also too, you know, a lot of people do buy these cars used. Let me get this point in, and I understand that is you want to buy them used, and you don't want to pay full price for the new car. So I understand that, but most of the time when I'm buying just a general take around the you know, use a general car to use and run errands in and maybe use for work, I will look at buying a used vehicle. But when it comes to owning a performance branded vehicle with this 3.0T. I mean, this is not a race car, it's not a drag car, but this motor puts it up into that category of a performance car. You want to, I will buy new because I know how I'm going to break the car in and how it's going to run. And I think that's very, very key, because a lot of people will get these cars and not do the maintenance, and they'll use up the life of the car in their first 30,000 miles and do no maintenance and treat the car harshly. And then they know they're selling it, within, the 2 or 3 years, and let someone else deal with the problems. So that's what you're buying into. You're taking a big risk when you buy used. It may look great on the inside, but unless you've torn the motor down and taken the turbos out, put the car on a lift and inspected the underneath and checked everything out and held and wiggled everything, you don't know what you're buying into. It may look shiny. Someone may have come in and reconditioned the interior and reconditioned the outside, but you're still buying into a beater car. So it's that's very, very important to understand that it's a risk when you buy used. And a lot of these people that are buying used have bought into cars that have been driven hard and put away wet, as the term that I've heard before. That's not what you want to buy into. Okay, now I'm going to go into the accessories that I put on my car that I thoroughly 100% support and I like and I'm very happy with even 2 years later. I've got my aftermarket wheels, my Verde VF01s, and the front is 8.5, and it's a 19-inch wheel, which replaced the 19-inch wheels that I had on them. But this just allowed me to go with a wider tire in the rear. These are 8.5 up front, and I've got Toyo all season front tires on there, ultra high performance front tires, which is fine for me. I'm not a track person. I'm not one of those people that is tracking my times going around the corners around a racetrack. So these tires are perfectly fine for me, and they'll do really well in the winter. But then I've got my summer tires on the back, and these are my Toyo R888Rs, and these are my pure summer ultra performance tires, and they're 285 on a 19-inch wheel. And those are some of the these are two of the wheels that I put on my car, and I'm pretty happy with. When these wear out, they're wearing actually pretty well. I'll probably go with a different super ultra high performance tire, see if I can get even more traction. But these are supposed to be some of the best tires in the rear for rear wheel drive traction deficient cars. So yeah, so those are two of the things that I put on the car. Also, I'm going to go to the front, open the hood up. All right, I haven't done a lot of mods. I'm not done lower downpipes or full downpipes. I'm not opposed to them. I just believe if you're going to do those within a week or right when you put them on, you need to get tuned. I think that's very key, and the people that I respect and have come forth and showed their credentials and their mechanics, they will all back this up, and tuners will back this up, that lower downpipes need to have the correct tune. So people putting lower downpipes, full downpipes on cars that are not tuned, you're probably creating your own problems or the owner in the future's problems. So lower downpipes, I'm stock downpipes, but I've got a catback exhaust. I've got the MagnaFlow catback exhaust, the 15310 Performance Street Edition, and it's quiet. It's a quiet exhaust, but it adds a little bit of performance rumble and low end sound. So it's a 2.5 inch all the way through, so there's no restrictions, and it's got an X pipe. So I'm very, very happy with that, even a year and a half later. And then also too, I've got the AMS intakes. Intake kit that I bought for $3.99 instead of $5.99 or $4.99. I just saw a discount on them. I picked them up, and again, I got those on there when I was tuned, so I'm going to see the most benefit. I'm just from guessing, because I haven't had my car dyno tuned recently, but I'm close to 500 or 440, between 440 450 rear wheel horsepower and 500 and 513 torque. And I've been running that now close to almost 2 years. So let me intake kit, and then also too, the Mishimoto oil catch can. I think that's very, very key on a 3-point or a turbo car with direct injection, is you really need to have a catch can, and I highly recommend the Mishimoto. The reason why I recommend the Mishimoto over the other Ad1 is, if you have it, you bought it and you got to use it, but I'm not a fan of Ad W1. Triple baffle system. I've got the micron filter in here that Mishimoto has put into their catch can, the 50 micron filter, and it captures the moisture, the condensed, because that fluid coming out of the motor is condensed vaporized oil and contaminants from combustion that slip past the piston rings, and then an adequate length of a hose, so it travels through the hose and it cools down a little bit before it hits your catch can, and that way then it dumps into their baffle system, which slows the air coming in, it slows it down and allows it to become more of a solid and then catch up to the bottom of the can. But then this catch can also has the micron filter, so it will filter out the fluid or the vapor in the air and catch that too as well, to a degree. So you're going to catch about 90% of your oil blow by with this catch can versus probably 20 or 30% of the other catch cans. JLT makes a great catch can for Mustangs and 5.0s. If I had that one of those cars or a Corvette, I would definitely get the JLT catch can. But other than that, we've got a PLM. PLM heat exchanger. I had a Burger Motorsports and I upgraded what I consider an upgrade to the PLM heat exchanger, and my car is running even in the 95 degree heat, for about 6 runs. My car's hovering between 102 and 108 on the cat temp, and the coolant air temp, the CACT. The coolant heat exchanger temps running about between 101 to 105. So really, really well. So if I was overly racing the car over and over and over again, say 20 times at a track, I would, obviously the AMS, the Mishimoto, and the PLM will heat soak at a point. But I think there's advantages to running these and where they mount compared to the Burger Motorsport. So I'm very happy and still very pleased, and we'll have the PLM heat exchanger on this car. And then other than that, I told you about the cat back exhaust system. And then I've got the Z1 Motorsports subframe bushing collars. I like those too. I'm very happy that I put those on. I think it really added to the car. Okay, so unfortunately, has been going wrong all day and probably the whole last week. My video cut out, my camera, my DJI expensive camera was overheating, and it's just driving me insane. I mean, I wanted to throw that thing on the ground a couple times today, and I can't do that because it was like $500, $600. And so got to send that back. But other than that, the audio is going to be different because I don't have my mic. I have my mic, but it's not hooked up to my phone. So just bear with me while I get this video shot. I've made 10 attempts at this today, and this is the last time I'm doing it. But anyways, just blow that off a little bit. So I wanted to tell you a little bit more about what my diff brace that I put on before my video cut out at the location. I've got the Pride Auto diff brace mounted on there, and that's just a bolt-on piece. You know, a lot of people are complaining that that's not a more elaborate piece, but that is a simple bolt-on, and it's $100 versus $600 and modifying the subframe or some elaborate design that takes a day to put on. I think that the Pride Auto diff brace was a good little addition to my car. It took me from 2.2, 2.3, 0 to 60, or 60 foot, and then dropped me down to a 1.9, and then I'm down to a 3.8, 3.9, 0 to 60. So definitely helping me to launch the car a little better. for $100, I think that's a great bonus to put on this car. So enough about that. And I just want to clarify too, you know, you'll see a lot of things online, YouTube, Facebook, social media, with a lot of, you know, car reviewers, car magazines that review this car and give this car a totally bad rap. And I see them now, and I'm just like, I don't even open stuff, because they're all the same. And it's the people saying that they like the motor and bashing the car, that it's not an $80,000, you know, BMW or $80,000 sticker price for a Mercedes, you know, that has similar horsepower and performance, you know, of the Red Sport model. But this one cost here, my 2019 Signature Edition 3.0T cost me $43,000 and some change. And so my car is a great value with a little bit more of a sport look, minus some of the benefits of the bigger brakes and some of the other features and the more expensive stereo. But I'm really happy with this car. So don't let people talk negatively about this car. It is an awesome, awesome car. And I haven't hung on to cars more than 2 years for my entire life. And I've been driving now like 35 years, probably that. And now I'm really considering keeping this car, driving it more, and also too, as the Nissan 400Z comes out, it's going to have the 3.0T motor. That's going to open up a whole new ball game for motor modifications or performance parts, Ecutech tuning. Hopefully a transmission tune is going to come out. A lot of exciting stuff. So it's a really good time to be a 3.0T owner and the Infiniti brand. And we can latch on to the 400Z, as the manufacturers will make similar parts that carry over. So it's going to be a win-win situation. And the motor is reported to be a really solid motor, even though a lot of people talk trash about it and talk trash about the turbos. You know, they can do that, but everything in this car is high quality, and I'm really happy with it. So don't let other people deter you from thinking what you want to do. You just got to buy the car right, and you got to get a car that's healthy to start with. I mean, ultimately, I advise buying new, and then you can do what you want to your car, and you know you got a reliable car, and you're not having to trust that someone else took care of it and did all the maintenance and everything. So other than that, I think that's it. Just the big takeaway is I'm very happy with my car. My turbos are lasting just fine. My serpentine belt is fine. You know, it just depends on where you live, what's your environment. You know, are you near salt water? That changes everything. Are you in a super cold climate, extreme cold? You know, or an extreme 120-degree heat? You know, it just, the world depends on a whole bunch of different variables. So don't let people trash talk this car. I'm very happy, love my car. It drives well, it does everything well. Just the transmission tune will be key to get this car to go quite a bit faster and break into maybe, you know, the 3.6, 3.7, hopefully 0 to 60, and then get the 60 foot down to, you know, 1.7. And that would be my hopes. The transmission is kind of what's holding us back, but the transmission is a great transmission for daily driving, trips, and what this car was really designed to do. That's a great transmission. So, you know, just screw everyone that's talking trash about this car. You know, I don't even really care. But I just, you know, a lot of people see these things and they read into what's saying online. So I don't want that to deter you because of how good my car has been and how good it's going to be, and I can almost guarantee that. So other than that, thanks for tuning in. Check in for more videos as I make them, and hopefully some new parts will come out and that I can get excited about, and I'll put them on the car, and I can make some future content and make it look, make everything come out really, really well. Other than the video failures, thanks for tuning in. Have a good night, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye-bye.